Hello and welcome to the Spotlight Show. I'm your host. My name is Jebez Napoleon Ogbale, and I'm always excited every week to be on the screen with you. And today is no different. So I want to say thank you so much for all your support. And we're broadcasting live from the GPKM network in the city of Toronto in Canada. So thank you so much. So remember, we are live right now on the GPKM app. If you have not downloaded the app, please go to App Store, Play Store, and download the app GPKM. Go to our website, www.gbkm.fm. You can also watch us live and see past shows. And of course, our YouTube channel at GBKM FM. So thank you so much. And today is no different. Remember, the Spotlight Show is all about you and I, how we can benefit each other. You know, we go out there to get the facts and the figures, and then we share with you so you can make a informed decision. You know, and that is the beauty of this show. So please tell your friends and family about this show, like, subscribe, and of course, share. And for all those my viewers that get this this recording on YouTube and they share it through WhatsApp, on Instagram, Facebook, thank you so much. You know, we get a lot of good positive feedback, and people say, hey, I watched your show, it was very informative, you know, it was very helpful, thank you so much. And that's why we are here. And this show is always made possible by our supporters, and I must do a quick shout out. You know, first of all, African Young Entrepreneurs, and I don't know, African Young Entrepreneurs, they are actually on the Clubhouse right now. So go to Clubhouse, search Africa's Young Entrepreneur. They're going to be doing weekly discussion, very impactful. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. And you know right now, be it in Africa, in the Caribbean, even in Canada where we are, you know, the government is encouraging, people of African descent to go into entrepreneurship. And that is why I appreciate African Young Entrepreneur, www.ayorganization.org. Thanks to Imani's Place, www.imanisplace.org. Pan-Africa Arts, Culture and Trade Institute as well. Thank you. www.pakati.org. Daniola Corporation, wonderful corporation. They're going to have their product out very soon. They are disrupting the mining industry, guys. You just have to pay attention. Go to www.daniolacorp.com. And of course, Top Rock Consulting. Top Rock Consulting makes this show possible every week. You know, quick shout out to them, because why? If you are looking for a career in information technology, you're looking for mentors, you know, you want to get some certification, you know, please, they are the right place to go, www.toprun.ca. And obviously, they have classes very close to you right now. Any country you may be, you know, reach out to them. And my Dunamis food, guys, oh my God, you know, the pandemic has opened our eyes to a whole lot of opportunity, a whole lot of challenges. So now you can get your African grocery, what I say, African grocery directly to your doorstep. You don't even need to drive out of your home. It's as simple as going to www.mydunamisfood.com. You know, last week you shared the website, and this week please go to www.mydunamis.com, and please patronize our own African, entrepreneurs who are doing so wonderfully well in Canada. All right, guys. Today's topic is very, very interesting. Why? Let's talk about fraud. We're talking about fraud, Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme, and so many other types of fraud, guys. You know, I may have said this topic smiling, but it's a very serious topic, guys, because a lot of people are losing their valuable income, you know, to fraudsters, and it's no longer funny. You know, right now they are targeting anybody. They don't even mind if it's an elderly, if it's a teenager, you know, male or female. These people are just targeting anyone. And, you know, guys, so I want to share this information with you. We're going to talk about different types of fraud. I want you to be aware. And I'm going to focus on today's topic on Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme, because is actually becoming an issue in the black community, you know. And when I share this information, you understand why. So let's just go straight to the show. I'm going to share with you an image, you know, and let's talk about the various type of fraud out there. Yes, you see this image. So it's something that I really, really like, you know. As you can see, there's affinity fraud, advanced fee fraud. For those of us in West Africa, advanced fee fraud is something synonymous with 419, okay? But now it's beyond advanced fee fraud. There's binary options fraud, high yield investment program, internet and social media fraud, all kinds of fraud. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of them before we go into the Ponzi scheme and the pyramid scheme, and how you can be a victim, and what are the things you need to look out for, so that way you secure your investment. Very, very important, guys, you know, because everybody wants to make money. You know, it's so funny, because, you know, there's an old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, then of course it probably is. You know, so you need to be very, very cautious, you know. And when money is involved, sometimes our judgment can become so clouded, you know, because, quick returns. Everybody wants to make money. That's why we all have what? a job or a business, but we need to be very, very cautious, okay? Investment fraud comes in various ways. And whether you're a first-time investor or you have been investing for many years, there are some basic facts you should know about different types of fraud, guys. I'm telling you, it may be, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Put that into your mind, and we're going to talk about some of these various fraud today. We're going to leave this image. I'm just going to pick one at a time. Pick one at a time. Then we're not going to focus on some of the tactics these fraudsters use to target people. It doesn't matter anymore whether you're black, brown, blue. You can be a victim. Whether you are old, young, male or female, you can be a victim. Let's talk about the first one, affinity fraud. What is that? Affinity fraud target members of identifiable group. They could be the elderly, they could be, religious people, it could be Christian, Islam, Buddhism, it doesn't matter, or ethnic communities. This professional, what do they do? The fraudsters involved in affinity scams are what? They try to pretend to be members of the group. They can try to pretend to be Christians like yourself, or Muslims like yourself, or Ghanaians like yourself, or Caribbeans like yourself, or members of a law firm or a group, or association like yourself. What do? They enlist respected members of that group to spread word about their scheme. And these people are just being victims. So they convince them that it is a legitimate scheme and it's something that is worthwhile to share amongst their groups. So many times these leaders become unwitting victims of the fraud they help promote. It's crazy. They just take your trust. These people, especially the elderly, they feel so humiliated. I can give you so many examples. So you have to be very, very careful. And I'm going to share some information on this program today, some of the things you should watch out for. Because you and I could be a victim. It's that simple. Because these guys are sophisticated. Okay, so that's affinity fraud, targeting members of a specific group. It could be ethnic minority group, it could be the Somali community, it could be the Nigerian community, it could be elderlies, or it could be retirees, or it could be, members of a religious group. How we use Telegram and WhatsApp nowadays. Those guys, that's where they are looking for. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is advanced fee fraud. Advanced fee fraud, people are very familiar with this. What does it mean? They ask investors to pay a fee upfront. So whenever someone say pay upfront for something you haven't seen, you haven't touched, be very, very cautious. Okay. So in advance of receiving any proceed, any money, stock, or anything at all, for the deed to go through. So why would somebody ask you to pay in advance, and in this age and time, still fall victims to that? The advance payment may be described as a fee, a tax, a commission, or an expense that will be repaid later. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, so we talk about affinity fraud, we talk about advanced fee fraud. Let's go to some other sophisticated one called the binary options fraud. Okay, the binary options fraud is is the binary options market operates through internet-based trading, options trading, but they're not necessarily complying with applicable regulation in whatever countries they may be. So in illegal, investors should be aware of fraudulent promotion schemes involving binary options and binary options trading. So they create these platforms to say, okay, they are trading on options, and this has to do with derivatives, futures and stock, and etc. For those of you who are actually in the stock market, you understand options trading. So these people actually come up with manipulative means and say this platform is legit and you should invest. But the truth of the matter is, when you go put your money there, it's gone. So that's another one. And quickly, high yield investment program. This is something you should pay attention to. Because the internet contains so much information nowadays, guys. Okay, so high yield investment programs, or HYIP, these are unregistered investment run by unlicensed individuals, and most times they're always fraud. Okay, because if you're not licensed to do something, you have no business doing it. Now, the hallmark of the high yield investment program is the promise of incredible returns at little or no risk to the investor. I've heard that so many times. There's no risk to it. Just put this $1,200. Just put this $5,000. In 3 months, you're going to get $15,000. There's no risk. What is there? Trust me, guys. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So the high yield investment program, they mostly have website. They might promise annual or even monthly or weekly daily returns in up to 30 or 40%. Some of these scams may use the term prime bank program. If you approach online to invest in any of these high yield investment programs or prime bank programs, take extreme caution. So guys, I'm here on the Spotlight Show. We've done a lot of research and giving you this information. It's not something you should take lightly. Okay, so even though you're not a victim or you're not a victim of fraud, still send them this video because they need to understand so many of this type of fraud. People always think, oh, is that is a 419 or this or advanced faith fraud or romance fraud. It's beyond that now because of the internet. There's so many sophisticated ways of being duped by fraudsters. So we talk about affinity fraud, advanced free fraud. We talk about binary options, high yield investment. I'm just going to take a few more. Then we're going to today's Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme and some of the examples that is out there right now that is being spread out across the community and what you should do. Okay. Now, the one that really breaks my heart is the fifth one, the internet and social media fraud. Trust me, a lot of us are on internet. Many of us are on social media platform. There's a whole lot of fraud going on. And I'll tell you. So many investors use the internet and social media to help them with investment decisions. I do that as well. I try to see what's going on out there. What are people investing on? What is the craze out there? Is it cryptocurrency? Is it energy efficient manufacturers, etc. Internet is good for that. Social media is good for that. However, while these online tools can provide many benefits for investors, these same tools can make attractive targets for criminals. So the internet is a useful way to reach mass audience without spending a lot of money. We know that because you can reach a whole lot of people on Instagram, Facebook by paying a little amount of money to these companies. Okay, they create a lot of awareness, so you might think it's legit because I'm on Facebook. Facebook sanctioned this advert; it must be legit. You need to take extreme caution because Facebook has no call center. You can't blame them. Okay, now a website, online message, or social media site can reach large numbers within a minimal effort. So it's easy for fraudsters to make their message look real and credible, and sometimes hard for investors to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Okay, if an investment promotion grabs your interest, you need to research that opportunity even before you provide your phone number or email address. Otherwise, you may be setting yourself up to be a target of investment fraud. People say they just have my email, they just have my phone number. Do you know your email? You know how many of your bank accounts, how many of your very important sites you use your email as a username? Do you know how many websites has your phone number? These hackers are sophisticated. As soon as you give out bits of information, they can scrub the internet and get more and hack you easily. What is going on right now is how people get phone calls from CROA and they ask you to put a code. As soon as you put that code, they take over your handset. People do the same thing. You know how WhatsApp keep changing your security code, and people ask for it. People can join a group on WhatsApp because, a lot of people open their WhatsApp settings for people to put them into groups, even without their permission. So people use those means as soon as they get, because remember, if there's a WhatsApp group of 50 members and you are added, you have access to those 50 members' contact. So you need to be very, very careful. Okay, do your research, guys, and do not blame anyone but yourself. This is why on GBKM Network and on the Spotlight Show, we take it as a passion to educate our community, to educate our listeners, so you can be aware of all these happenings and take, precautions. All right, guys, so there's so many other ones I can talk about today, but, I'm not going to bore you with all that. You've seen it on the screen. There's so many other ones. There's pump and dump, promissory note, there's even foreign currency scam right now, But I'm not going to go into that. Before I leave this one and go into the main Ponzi schemes, various types, let me share this pre-IPO investment scam. Because a lot of people are very interested in investing in stocks and shares, because I was almost a victim of this because of my curiosity, okay? So we have what they call pre-IPO, which is initial public offering. Before companies go to the stock exchange to sell their shares publicly to everyone, they do initial IPO, so people can actually get it at the preferred price. So these are investment scams that purport to offer investors the opportunity to buy pre-IPO shares. They will tell you, oh, Facebook want to release a Class B shares. But before they give it to the public, they have given us some. So come and buy from us. Be careful, okay? Now, so they can do it on social media. They can do it on any company. It could be Facebook. It could be Twitter. So this type of fraud, which may be promoted on social media and internet site by telephone, email, in person, they can promote it in any way. And they say they have preferred pricing. They do it in real estate as well. Oh, we are preferred realtors, preferred pricing. Bring your money, make this deposit, you have access to this site, or you have access to this price. Guys, be careful. Make your calls. Nowadays, we are very lazy. We want a pastor to read the Bible for us. We want someone to do everything for us. We don't want to do anything. We don't take any action. Guys, please take actions. It won't take you too much time to go on Google, find out if Facebook or any technology company or any company that is doing pre-IPO. Okay, you can even call this company and find out. Don't just believe and say, oh, this website must be legit. People actually clone people's site nowadays. You understand? I was sharing information recently whereby a bank website was cloned, and you will not tell the difference because it was the same thing. www.citibank.com. It was the same thing. But however, the A in the bank wasn't the regular A. It was the other A. You know, so there are so many things that people will do nowadays. They can even take my face, my name, and put on a website that I am the one endorsing something. But it's a lie because these people are scammers. They don't care who they hurt. All right, guys. So that is it about some of this fraud. Now we're going to go into the pyramid schemes and Ponzi schemes, you know, that is affecting our community. But before we do that, we're going to go on a quick break. So sit back, relax. You're going to enjoy this topic, guys, and tell your friends and loved ones about this show right now. So sit back, relax. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight right to some of those Ponzi schemes that's affecting the community. We'll be right back.
My name is Carol, and I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on is not to just impart certification knowledge, but the application of real-world tools.
Back in June 2017, I did the business analysis course at Top Run. I learned the basic and advanced skills and tools to be successful in business analysis field.
Welcome back. You're still on the Spotlight Show. I'm your host, JP Napoleon Ogbole. If you're just joining us, thank you. Welcome to the show. If you've been here before we went on the break, thank you so much for staying tuned. Yes, before we went on the break, we talked about fraud, the different types of fraud that's out there. There are so many, we share those names. So please take note of this fraud. Go to the internet and research them so you can know the red light, the red flags. So when people approach you, it could be friends and family. Some of them may be novice. They don't even understand that this is a fraud, and they are selling the idea to you. So you do your own research. Okay, I've been opportune to be, to be giving proposals of various kinds, and there are some is against my principle, and there are some when I ask question and there's no answer, then I'm not at peace. I'm like, no, forget about it. If I cannot get hold of your head office, if I cannot go on the internet and see positive things or negative things, there's no direct contact number, there's no physical location, I'm not even going to bother. I don't care how much people are making. It probably is a Ponzi scheme, so these are the different types. Well, now let's go to today's main topic. Today's main topic actually was, let's talk about fraud, focusing on Ponzi scheme. And so we're going to leave this image. I'm just going to talk about Ponzi scheme. We're going to leave this image and we're going to talk about Ponzi scheme before we share the next image. Okay, the next image talks about some of the some of the good bad guys that have done some unimaginable scam on this planet that you won't even believe. Okay, so what is Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that pays existing investors with funds collected from new investors. You rob Peter to pay Paul. Okay, it has a popular saying, but people do not care. People are sophisticated. They will build companies and sites based on this. And I'll show you some examples. Okay, this is happening everywhere in the Caribbean, South America, in Africa, in Europe, in North America. I'm going to share you information. That's why I love this show, because we give you the fact. Then you not be the one to decide. Okay, so that's what Ponzi scheme is all about. It collects money to pay, existing money from new investors to pay existing investors. It's just collecting money from these new ones to pay these ones. Okay, so Ponzi scheme organizers often promise to invest your money and generate high returns with little or no risk. But many Ponzi schemes, the fraudsters do not invest the money. They spend your money. Instead, they use it to pay those who invested earlier and may keep some for themselves. It's not as if they always keep some for themselves. I don't even know why they do this, you understand? Because you have 5 people. The first person drops $3,000. The second person drops $3,000. That is $6,000 already, you get? By the time it's this first person's turn to receive their investment, it uses number 2's money to pay you. And then gets a new person to use this person's money to pay number 2. It keeps going on to a point, everything crumbles. Then you realize, oh, I've been a victim of a scam. It's always the first people that enter that actually benefit, okay? But you never know if you're the first or if you're the last. That's the thing. You never know. Because by the time you get to know about these programs or schemes, you get a whole lot of people have been so involved that it's about to bust. So that is Ponzi scheme, okay? So with little or no legitimate earnings, Ponzi schemes require a constant flow of new money to survive. When it becomes hard to recruit new investors, or when large numbers of existing investors cash out, these schemes then collapse. Because when a lot of people cash out their money, they have nothing else to pay. And when they can't get new people, then it collapses. So this is what happens. And there are so many, you know a lot of them. And we're gonna talk about those. Okay? Some of the red flags for you to take note of is are things like high returns with little or no risk. Trust me, everything involves risk. Everything involves risk. If you live in your house, is a risk. So how will somebody tell you are investing money that they are guaranteed high returns? There is no risk. It's probably too good to be true. If you are the first person, you make the money, but what's the guarantee you are the first, second, third, or fourth person in that particular scheme? Okay. So the returns, if the returns are so consistent, 40% return quarterly or monthly, who does that? How possible is that? You know, even the billionaires, they can't even make that kind of returns. They can't even guarantee such returns. So that's some of the red flag. If the investment is unregistered, you know, if whatever country they have regulators that regulate such industries. If they are not registered with those industries and they're telling you that, oh no, we are not registered, we are organic, be very cautious. Why are you not registered? Okay. If you're really legitimate, the first thing you need to do is satisfy the regulatory requirement. All right, guys. So if it's secretive, if it's complex, you know, just know. If there are issues with paperwork, all they want is your money, but there's no paperwork, you know, it's another red flag. A lot of people don't care because when it comes to investment, like I said, well, judgment gets clouded. We just want to make money. Oh, my sister actually invested $100 and she has $1,000. I saw it with my own eye, so I must get $100,000. Your sister may have been lucky. Maybe she was in the first set. But remember, nowadays, because of the internet, okay, if you're number one right now, because of the internet, in the next 2 minutes, you can be number 1,000. Because people are coming from Africa, Middle East, everywhere to register. So you have to be very, very cautious. So that's the Ponzi scheme. And we're going to share more information on that actually. So that's the Ponzi scheme. So I want to really share something else with you about a Ponzi scheme recently. Okay, we have so many images, so relax. There's a Ponzi scheme on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I love cryptocurrency, I won't lie. Okay, but let me tell you some of the red flags with that is not affecting cryptocurrency. So there's a case in America right now about shavers. So the organizer of an alleged Ponzi scheme advertised a Bitcoin investment opportunity. They're telling people, come, there's an opportunity to invest in Bitcoin, you make a whole lot of returns. Okay. So they started this in an online Bitcoin forum. Because remember, this will target, I told you there are different ways. Affinity Fraud, they look for, you know, successful members of the community, the elderly, religious people, certain community groups. So they use an online forum to advertise this scheme. Okay. Investors were promised up to 7% interest every week. Okay. And that the invested funds will be used for Bitcoin arbitrage. Okay. In order to generate the returns. However, the Bitcoins that people invested in were used to pay existing investors and exchange into US dollars to pay for this organizer, this company's personal lifestyle. Can you imagine that? This happened in the US. Go check it out, shavers, you know, so a lot of things are happening about Ponzi scheme. Now let's talk about pyramid scheme. A whole lot of multi-level marketing, some of them are pyramid scheme. But the truth of the matter is because, you know, at the beginning, it sounds so good. There's so much testimonies. The young, the old, male and female are making money from it. You jump into it, thinking that, okay, these people are already making money. They've showed me their back end. They showed me their deposit. Okay, so what have I got to lose? It must be true. But like I said, you don't know if now this scheme is about to bust because maybe they're running out of money. Maybe they've used so much people's, the people that invested at the latter stage to pay the earlier investors. You don't know that. Okay, so pyramid scheme. Okay, a pyramid scheme is where participants attempt to make money solely by recruiting new participants. So they tell you, no, bring one person or bring two people. There's a lot of legitimate schemes out there, multi-level marketing. Some of them are legitimate, you get, but majority of them are scam. I'll tell you why. The promoter promises a high return in a short period of time. There's no genuine product or service. You say, okay, I'm bringing people. What are you selling? What are they buying? They say, oh no, we are offering education, we are offering empowerment, you know, the more you bring, you know, there's no service, first of all. Then it should give you a red flag. Okay, there's no product or service. The primary emphasis is just recruiting. No, you need to bring in more people, bring in more people. You never stop recruiting. You recruit 5 people to get to level 1. You need another 5 to get to level 2. Okay, you need to get to another level, 10. You keep recruiting until you get to presidential level. You get, and then I say you have so many downline that now for the rest of your life you always get returns. But truthfully speaking, how many people, you understand? There are so many companies, I don't want to mention their name, who have done this in the past, and after a while they can't even pay. And then you now begin to wonder. You understand? After 10 years of my investment, I've done this, I thought I should be retired by now, and they should be paying me residual income. Then the check stops. Then you're now forced to go get a job. So these are some of the red flags. Be very, very careful. So fraudsters frequently promote pyramid scheme through social media, internet, website. They even do conference call, YouTube videos. You just need to be able to be cautious. Check. Okay, check is very important. So what are some of the red flags? Some of the red flags are, if they emphasize on recruiting only, bring people. That's a red flag because there's no product or service. Okay. If the promise of high return is just too much, it's too good to be true. Okay, if it's easy money or passive income that you don't really have to do anything, be careful. They just say, no, pay this, we'll do the work for you. Don't worry, in 3 months' time you'll get your check. Okay, there was one I was introduced to recently, and they said, no, it's up to you. You can keep buying product or you can bring in more people. Okay, but when I did my first degree is mathematics, I'm very logical. When I did the calculation, and I said the first 1 year, all the money you pay me is my original investment. I've never made anything. So where is this high return coming from? Pardon my emotions, because guys, it's very, very serious, guys. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, this is from US as well. So there's this company called Rex Venture Group. Okay, the Security Exchange Commission in US shut them down. Why? Because they were involved in $600 million fraud. That's not little money. Okay, what did they do? They duped approximately 1 million internet customers. Yeah, I'm sure you probably know 1 or 2 of these people who were victims of this company. Okay, through a complex investment scam involving a Ponzi scheme promoted as a daily profit sharing pool and a pyramid scheme pitched as a multi-level marketing program called Zik Rewards. Come on, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of Zik Rewards, okay? So the self-described affiliate advertising division for Zikla.com is a penny auction website. Those websites tell you you can buy a PlayStation for 1 cent or an iPhone for 1 penny. Guys, if it's too good to be true, So the Security Exchange Commission alleged that for the pyramid scheme component of the scam, these people promise bonuses and commission to customers for enrolling in a monthly subscription plan and recruiting others to join the plan. However, according to the Securities Exchange Commission's complaint, new customers' funds were pooled and used to pay recruiting bonuses to existing customers because there was no substantial legitimate revenue from the product. Nothing like that. I can share so many with you guys. Just do your research. That's the bottom line of this. You are aware of all these fraud types. Do your research. And also, be cautious. It's not every phone call you pick. And when you pick up phone calls, people are saying they are from government, from that, hang up. Tell them you will call them back. I do that all the time. I get calls from legitimate government agencies. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I can't believe you are the one. I will go to your website, okay, and I'll call you back. And I always do that. And when I call, I ask them, is there a note on this account that was called? Sometimes say yes, sometimes say no. So I know if it's a fraud. Don't give her your email or your phone number, take it that it's harmless. It's very, very harmful. Except that email, you have never used it for any account or anything, or your phone number, which is hardly the case most time. All right, guys. So it's been. I hope you've been informed by this. Okay. I want to share some videos with you, images with you right now. Some of the biggest fraud that you never imagined happened. Okay. The first one in 1991, Monitron. Go and do the research. Who was the founder? Jean-Pierre Van Rossem. Well, anyway, how did he end? Monitron eventually crumbled after his checks started to bounce. They couldn't pay investors. And this guy was sentenced to 5 years in prison. And this is not just anybody from the street. This guy was one time the head of Formula One. So scams can come in any shape from any individuals. Some of these individuals, honestly, they didn't intend to scam people, but majority of them actually intended to scam. Okay, let's go to the next image quickly. The next one is 1994, Caritas. Go do your research. The scam was valued at 1 to 5 billion. Come on, guys, 1 to 5 billion. So even if this guy collected only 10%, that is like what? 100 million, 500 million. And I'm telling you, this guy don't collect just 10% from this income. They collect a whole lot. So these are big scams. These are not even local scams that's happening in local communities or in Africa. This is worldwide. Okay, let's go to the next image. I'm going to share some of this image to open up your eye that fraud can come in any shape or color. Okay, guys. MMM. Oh my goodness, everybody knows MMM. Even me, I know MMM. Even people in my village back in Africa know about MMM. It was a pandemic, because a lot of people were bought into it. Okay, this guy, Sergi Movrado, 10 billion. That's the value of the scam. $10 billion in 1994. In 1994, I'm telling you that even people in my village participated in MMM. A whole lot of market women invested money. This guy was sentenced to, he was captured and sentenced to about 4 years in prison. Imagine that. You do people $10 billion, you only go to prison for 4 years. Okay? See, sometimes white collar crime. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I won't encourage that, guys. So let's go to the next image. The next image in 1997, the Great Ministries International, Gerard Payne. Guys, go and research what this guy did. The scam was valued about over $500 million. Go check what they did. Okay? These scams are not chicken. This is not hush puppy scam. These are massive scam, guys. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is 2003, Mutual Benefits Corporation, Joe Stinger. This is another incredible one. But this guy actually, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. I don't know why he was sentenced to 20 years in prison and the other guy was sentenced to 4 years. But, do your research and you see some of these scams, some of the things that they did, how it all started, what led to the collapse. That way you get more information. Sometimes it's not about just watching movies or action films or, for leisure. Sometimes let's inform ourselves. Let's go to the next one because of time. Stanford Financial Group, 2012, $7 billion. That's the value of the scam. So, guys, have you heard me? I've not been talking about 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, 2 million. I've been talking about billions since. Okay, so these are corporate organized crime. Okay, like I tell you, these come in different shape, size, and color. Okay, guys. So when you talk about fraud, you think, oh, fraud, Nigeria, oh, West Africa. Come on, guys, that is child's play. Okay, guys. Stanford, this guy actually did a lot in the Caribbean. A lot of people in the Caribbean really fell victim to this guy's fraud. Okay, let's go to the next image. All right. Most popular Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. Before I go into the most popular Ponzi schemes in Nigeria, let's go on a quick break, guys. And I'm going to talk. This is very interesting about my African brothers and sisters. I'm going to talk about the Caribbean scams as well. We're going to go on a quick break right now. And when we come back, I'm going to show you some of these scams and what he has done to people in our community. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Are you craving some home-cooked African meals but are missing the authentic ingredients? No worries. Head over to Dunami's Food online groceries at www.mydunamisfood.com to check out our collection of the best quality African and Caribbean foods. From swallows to spices to meats and produce, expect top quality customer service and have your groceries delivered to your door when you shop at Dunami's Food. Don't forget, go to www.mydunamisfood.com and get a taste of home. It'll be like you never left. Dunami's Food, keeping you smiling always. Nous vous gardons toujours le sourire.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still on the Spotlight Show. I'm your host, JP's Napoleon Ogbole, and I hope this topic has been quite interesting to you. We're talking about fraud, Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme. We talk about the different types of fraud out there, including social media fraud. We've talked about, Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme, how some of these schemes maybe disguised as multi-level marketing. But you need to do your own research. And before we went on the break, we were talking about some of the fraud that affected different parts of the world. And then now we are shifting to Africa, especially the nation with the largest number of black people, which is Nigeria. Nigeria has always been a victim to so many pyramid and Ponzi schemes. And I like this diagram. It tells you the impact some of these fraud have done to the Nigerian population and Nigerian economy. Look at MMM. MMM is like I told you, people in my village were invested in MMM. That's how deep it was in Nigeria. I'm using Nigeria because it's the nation with the largest number of population. So it attracts a lot of fraudsters from Eastern Europe, from Asia, from North America, from every part of the world. So many things are going on there. And remember, because it's a green economy, the regulatory bodies may not have all the necessary tools, to nab this thing. Even in America, with all the money and all the regulation, some of these schemes start in America. So imagine the Nigerian government trying their best. So those are some of the things that have gone there. We have MMM, we have Twin Cars, Ultimate Cycler, Givers Forum, iCharity, Crowd Rising, Clarita. Clarita even, I showed the guy that did Clarita on the last image before we went on the break, and it's interesting. If you go back, you see Clarita, the guy actually that did that. One more. This is MMM, okay. Yeah, Caritas, you see the guy, Stoica, so he even went as far as Nigeria. So let's go back to that image and let's just take a look at some of those ones so that way you can be aware, okay. So Smile to Charity, Help to Get, all these ones are something you need to take caution. You know, Get Help Worldwide and Donation Hub. These things are happening. There are new ones that's happening right now. Okay, we will cover that in another segment. Okay, we want to do our investigation, you know, verify. Because some of these companies actually will fight you. Because at this point in time, there's no proof that it's a pyramid scheme because they're able to pay their investors. You understand? But when the bubble bursts, you know, they all disappear into thin air. You know, at that point in time, it's too late because the victims have lost their money. There's so many happening in Nigeria right now, not only in Nigeria, in Africa. But let me go straight to Caribbean. Let's talk about our Caribbean brother and sister. So, you know, there are so many schemes that have happened there as well, and I don't want them to be left out. For example, in Cuba, authorities recently caught wind of a Ponzi scheme disguised as a game called La Bola. La Bola, it asks people to invest 500 Cuban pesos, which is about $20, and then convince 14 others to do so. So I come in, I invest $20, and I bring in 14 people. 14 times 20, we're talking about what? over $240. But my own dollar, we're talking about $260, okay? So the scheme proved popular, okay? By February at that period, one Havana police station alone had allegedly recorded more than 300 complaints related to the scam. If it's too good to be true, it probably is, okay? So now let's go, that was in Cuba. In Guyana, a couple was arrested in August 2020, just last year, for running an unlicensed and unregistered investment company called Accelerated Capital Firm Inc. Okay? Now, first of all, people invest in this company, they didn't even do their research. You see a company, first you go to the regulators. What the product they are selling? Who regulates this product? Which government agency? Pick up the phone, go to the website and find out. I don't know why people just have so much trust, you know, but it's always like that because these people target your emotions, they target communities, religious organizations, especially when they do this, when they target a reputable member of a community who now begins to be a marketer of that product or service. Then you have no choice but to trust because you have delegated your common sense to this person, you know, but that's what always happens. You fall victim. All right, guys. So that was in Guyana, which collected 27 million from 17,000 people. Man, guys, man. Oof. Man. This is just last year. 27 million for 17,000 people in Guyana. Imagine that, man. Okay, guys. So this couple who are awaiting trial faces around 80 counts of conspiring to obtain money under false pretense. Okay. Similar schemes in which people are encouraged to invest in tantalizing small amounts from $5 to $25, you know, to receive 8% returns, you know, have also appeared in different places like Guyana as well. We have the names like Freedom Family, Bless and Be Blessed. I mean, some of the names, first of all, they're even suspect. Okay, guys. In Trinidad and Tobago, company called Drug So is under investigation for a similar investment. A 42-year-old contractor who was struggling to make payroll said the company hovered in returns of 600%. You know, and he was forced to put all his money in there. And now he cannot even pay his staff. You know, guys, so sometimes when we are talking about investment, our mind gets clouded. You know, but be cautious because it's hard-earned money. Okay, guys, just imagine an elderly who's worked all his life, retired at 65. You know, he has a pension, he has savings. He now falls victims to that. Come on now. Come on. Where is that individual going to start from? You know, but sometimes you can't blame them because, like I said, these fraudsters target members of community, religious groups, you know, influential people. They use fake names and whatnot to deceive people. Anyway, guys, we've come to the end of the show, and I hope this show you've been informed, and I hope you share on our YouTube channel, download the app, GBKM app on App Store and Play Store. All right, guys, so if you get this recording after the live show, please remember to share it to your network on WhatsApp. Let people be informed, guys. Anybody can be a victim. You could be a European, you could be an African, an Arab, Middle East, and Asian. It doesn't matter. You could be tall, you could be short, you could be skinny or fat. You know, see, fraudsters do not target you based on your color or your size. They target you based on how ignorant you may be. All right, guys, so remember, it has nothing to do with race, it has nothing to do with any part of the world. Some of the biggest schemes that have happened from America, you can even see it trickle down the way to Africa, all the way to Caribbean, and even to South America, in the Middle East. We've never covered some other part of the world. All right, guys. So we come to the end of the show. Like I always say, this show happens on a weekly basis every Sunday at 3 p.m. So stay tuned. If you want to participate live, one of these days we're going to have an open forum so you can call in as well. All right, guys. And, you know, I always leave you with this, that, you know, be that role model you want to be. All right, guys. And, you know, help build your community. Wherever you find peace is your home. If I find peace in Canada, why not? It becomes my home. If you find peace in Nigeria and Ghana, why? Contribute to the development of that community. Do not wait for government all the time. If you have the resources, why not do it? Why not do it? It costs you nothing. All right, guys. So that is what I'm always preaching. You know, be a role model, participate in local politics, in community building. You know, social services, be a helper, a brother's keeper. That's what I always talk about. You have a skill, try to monetize it. You have a product, try to monetize it. All right, guys, multiple streams of income is very important. Do not depend on one single paycheck, because as soon as you are let go, where are you going to start from? It's not every country that people are opportunity to go into welfare and government gives you a handout. Some part of the world you don't have that. So multiple streams of income is the way to go. And thanks to COVID has opened up our eyes that it's very, very important to have this kind of opportunity. All right, guys. So like I always say, your network, depends on your network. People you move around with, guys, very, very important. So network with like minds, build yourself, reach out, and of course, let's be our brother's keeper and our helper. Reach out to us, spotlight@gbkm.fm, send us an email, reach out to me on my social media, JAYGBES, JBase on Instagram. Let us know you have a product or service you want to advertise, you want to be interviewed, you want to showcase your product to our audience. We'll help you. That's why we are here. Okay? We help everyone move one step at a time. Okay, guys, group economy is what I believe in. It's what my gospel is, what I preach. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to see you same time next week, and I'm going to leave you with this. Remember, you are always in the spotlight. The change you seek begins with you. Good night.
Are you craving some home-cooked African meals but are missing the authentic ingredients? No worries. Head over to Dunami's Food online groceries at www.mydunamisfood.com to check out our collection of the best quality African and Caribbean foods. From swallows to spices to meats and produce, expect top quality customer service and have your groceries delivered to your door when you shop at Dunami's Food. Don't forget, go to www.mydunamisfood.com and get a taste